Okay. Hello, Ulysse, how are you?
Hi, Luc, I'm fine, and you?
Fine, really fine. I'm so happy to be here today after 2 days of remote, 2 years of remote event. Really, I'm really happy to see real people with real face-to-face discussion. It's really a pleasure. But we are not here to discuss about life.
No, it's about business. And work.
Okay, so my name is Luc Maurer. I'm the founder and CEO of Camp2Camp.
And my name is Ulysse Rosselet, and I'm a professor at the University of Applied Sciences, Western Switzerland.
And today we will speak about a very interesting subject about onboarding, but not convention of onboarding or normal onboarding, but something a little bit more special, a bit innovated with a tool, Aroolla. We will speak about what is onboarding on a service company, about custom scenario in Odoo with Aroolla, and we will speak about benefits and perhaps more for the future. So first thing I would like to speak about, so you know Camp2Camp. Camp2Camp is a service company. We are on Odoo from the very beginning, 15 or 16 years ago today. And we are growing quite fast. We are today 160 people, and we are onboarding people each month. So the onboarding was always a very important subject for me, especially because we are hiring more and more people. We have to onboard more and more people, and it becomes to be a little bit complex. Onboarding is very important, especially for a service company, because service company is linked to human resource. So we are really linked to human. So onboarding is very important because when you arrive in a new company, the first message you receive is also the first impression you have about the company. And you have lots of things to learn, lots of things to understand. The culture of the company, the values, everything about the tools. Imagine how many tools you have to know and to understand how to use. So it's really important. At Camp2Camp, for sure, you can understand the most important tool we have is Odoo, for sure. So some people just use timesheets, it's quite easy, but people in accounting, in sales, in project management, and so on, they have to learn lots of things about how to use Odoo. Odoo is super fast, super easy, but you need some training for sure. For me, onboarding is really important because it should be a human experience. It should be a human experience because, as I said, the first message you give to the newcomers, these messages are the most important because it's the first impression. It's like on the sales. When you are speaking to a customer, the first 2 minutes message are the most important. So always, I would like to give this human experience for the whole things. At the beginning, some years ago, it was quite simple. I had some onboarding per year, I would say. So there was one person in front of the newcomer, explaining the value, explaining the different things, and so on. But now, with lots of newcomers, it's become too much cost. So what we did, we created some videos to help that and to decrease a little bit the cost. But with the video, the problem is that you have no interactions. The people can train on a testing Odoo platform, but you have not that interaction with the customers, with the colleagues, and so on, so it's not the same. So now we decided to improve the quality of the training, to improve the quality of the experience, and that's why we have decided also to work with Aroolla for that. And there is another thing which is really important. Now with the home office work, the people should be able to work, to learn, to train anywhere at any time. So that was for us a really important point. So that's why we have decided to work with Aroolla. Ulysse will explain you what Aroolla is. We work for years already, but on another market. And now we decided to create a new scenario based on the service companies to be able to train the people with real interaction with customer And the people can train where they want, when they want, and it's really a pleasure now to present that and what we have done. Ulysse, it's your turn.
Thanks. So as Luc said, we are in partnership together in a kind of venture called Aroolla, and our goal is to create serious games for people to learn business processes and the software tools. And actually, the starting point of this collaboration was that we are using Odoo in the higher education to teach management information system students about the way business software can be used to run a company and the way information systems are used in modern businesses. And we started this collaboration because we realized that students, most of the time, they don't know what a business is, first. They don't know what an information system is, and they have absolutely no clue about how the two go together. And so we wanted to bring them something more interesting, more involving, to really immerse them in the problematic of business information systems. So we created games.
Wow.
Yeah. 3 different games.
Whoa.
And all these games take place in the same universe, which is a coffee company called La Roasteria. And so the first game is called Mano. The students play with physical objects, as you can see on the video in the background. Should start, yeah, start playing.
Oh, really?
And so they have, yes, they really have these kits, you know. So these are plastic bags where they find all the things necessary to play. So like the small paper cups, the coffee beans, the cardboard trays, and so on. And they have to produce coffee pods and sell them on the market. So here we can see they are selling them on the market. They have to keep track of all the information related to their activities on paper and use paper documents. And this allows them to understand the way a simple business process works and the information needs of this process.
And in fact, I could imagine that they understand at the end that having a tool helping them could be really useful.
Exactly. Actually, what they realize at the end is that they are not able to produce a correct balance sheet.
Oh.
So at the end of the game, when they make the balance sheet, it's almost all the time wrong. I mean, 9 out of 10 have errors. It's hard to keep track of all the information, what goes in, what comes out, etc., and it takes a lot of time. So we bring them to the next point, which is, what if you had a software for that?
I really like that because it's really physical. They can touch things, and really cool.
Yeah, they also like it very much. We like it very much too, frankly, to be completely subjective and honest. And so next we teach them what is an information system. So in information systems, we have Odoo, and we have developed a system that's based on an automation of Odoo with the chatbot. And so they have tasks they need to perform that are entitled to them using the chatbot. And so, for instance, they have to create, they have to change price of a product, they have to create customers, create orders, create suppliers, and so on.
So they have interaction with the customer. The customer is asking them via the chatter things.
So they are interacting with their colleagues most of the time, and they are interacting via the chatter. Awesome. Actually, the interaction is automated, so it's a pre-programmed scenario, but it recognizes some words, so you can ask for help, you can provide answers, you can do the different tasks, and actually it's checking everything that's happening in Odoo. For instance, if you need to check, to confirm a sales order, it will check the state of the sale order to go to the next step. So it's really, really deeply integrated with Odoo and within Odoo in our own simulation module.
And you know, we did that, this game inside Camp to Camp for the onboarding, but the problem was it was not a service company, and that's why we didn't use it a lot. Then now we have another thing.
Exactly. So there's a last game.
Ah, yes.
which is also always in the coffee industry. I'm sorry, Luke, but we're still in the coffee industry for the moment. And this is the biggest game. It's a competition where they have to perform in teams of 4 and run their coffee company against their competitors. So they are managing all the aspects of the operation, like suppliers, production, sales, their prices, their marketing, and they are taking all these decisions during the game. And here the time is compressed. So one day is during only 1 minute, and this forces them to take good decisions and to really use the data to take the decisions because they are under pressure, and so they have to perform really well.
So solo game, they learn the business and they know how the tool is useful. The second tool is they have to learn how to use the tool, and the last tool is really to work on a real life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So we'll go back to the solo game, which is the game where you play with your computer, with Odoo telling you how to do, what to do. And here, the focus is on immersive learning. So you are in the tool trying to work as if you were in the company. It's aware of the context, so it knows where you are in the process and what are the next steps you should perform. And there is this notion of process automation, where the game can trigger things in Odoo. Like, for instance, if you confirm a sales order, Odoo can our module can automate all the rest of the process, so that then the next step for the user would be, for instance, to manage a customer complaint or something like that. So this game, we want to transpose it to the user training, to move it from the students to real users.
And you know, it was really an objective at the really beginning of this collaboration, is not only to use that for the student or for universities, but to translate that also on the real world and to use that on the real world. Means companies.
Yeah. So last year, we promised you 3 things. So Odoo and process training, a new game universe, and having Aroolla inside your company. And we come back with one of these promises fulfilled, which is we are bringing a new game universe. This new game universe, it's based on the situation of Camp to Camp, but it's called in a different way. It's called Rockeo. Rockeo, which is also related to mountains and stuff. And it's a service company, and it's a medium-sized company who provides high-quality software development services.
For sure.
Yeah. So it's not your company. It looks like your company.
It's food.
Yeah. And because the idea here is to create a game that is applicable at Camp to Camp, but also in other contexts, such as higher training. So here we have a gameplay where we focus on different processes that on the coffee production games. For instance, players have to manage customer relationship issues.
Yeah,
they
sales,
have to manage projects, and sales, exactly, related to that. And they have to apply the company's best practices for all these steps.
In fact, it's a real process we have with a customer. First we sales, then we do, and then after that the best practices.
Mm-hmm. So the game is almost playable online right now, but it was not available this week. So you cannot try it yet, but you can see here a preview. So basically, it's the same interaction. So you receive message via the chatbot, and these messages ask you to do some tasks. So for instance, here, there's a lead which has come from the sales team. It has been qualified, and so now we need to create a sales order based on this based on this lead. And so the player is using the Odoo to create the quotation, and once the quotation is made, it will be checked by our module to make sure it corresponds to the required template, and it will be the scenario can move to the next step. And actually, I will not comment all the action happening on screen because it's not really that interesting seeing someone select some fields. But what's interesting is what we did behind this work. So it was, first we had to understand the way the processes are done at Camp to Camp. So we had a meeting with Luc and his team to better understand the way they manage their leads, their sales, their projects, what are the most important elements that people have to grasp when they come to work for them. And we had to prepare all these scenarios which are used during this Roqueo game. And there are parts which are related to the sales, or CRM, and others which are related to project management. For instance, here we see that once the project has been created based on the sales order, the user has to assign the task to manage the different aspects of the project. So we also have this notion of having parallel tasks. So the user has to work on has several demands at the same time, a bit in the same way it would be in a company. And this system should allow Luc to better train people coming in his company. And me, as an instructor, I see different interests for onboarding. First, it's a realistic tool. So
because it is based on our experience, so I explain what we are using every day and so on, what the people, salespeople and project managers should do. So it's really realistic because it's based on what we are doing every day, what kind of interaction we have with the customers, with the colleagues, and so on. Secondly, it's completely controlled because it's a uniform experience for the people. It's predictable because we are learning always the same thing. So the onboarding is the same for each people. It's not everything based on the trainer. And if we can do that anywhere. So the people can train anywhere where they are, and also when they want, at their own speed. It's not depending on a real face-to-face meeting and things like that. So it's really interesting, and we can really follow the experience of the people. So what are the expected benefits? That will be used by Chem2Chem in the future. Unfortunately, it's not really used today, but it's really an objective we have together. First, it should really speed up the process. Okay, for us, it's important to be able to speed up because also we would like to do that in parallel and not having always one person in front of each newcomer. We should focus on the value. We should really show what is important for each people. We can have different scenarios based on what is the real work of the person, sales, project managers, perhaps developers. They just have to fulfill timesheets and things like that. And the second or the third benefit we expect is really to increase or to make the onboarding more faster. So really important for us, and we are really positive about to be able to expect to fulfill these benefits.
Yeah.
So now, what's next?
What's next?
That's the big question.
So what we want to bring next with these simulation modules and this line of game is to ease the way people can build their own business cases, because at the moment it's actually it's really tied to the way Odoo works. So building a business case, you really need to have a deep understanding of the different way Odoo works. So we want to bring more simplicity in that. We can provide on-demand simulation sessions which can be used for the solo game or for the Largo game. We have the competition. So it's you can provide actually the infrastructure and the logins and so on for simulations. And finally, our next goal is to bring actually this module. Actually, what's interesting is that it's able to automate things inside Odoo actions and to check what is happening in the record. So it could be used for testing, for instance, for integration testing, or to make sure that business processes produce the right results without having to execute them manually completely. And so we'd like to use it for inside companies for testing or for automation. So we're almost at the end of our talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, already.
Sorry. Perhaps some words about the vision.
Yeah.
What we you think?
Yeah, so what we want to bring with this collaboration is to create these serious games that can be used for education, but also for training inside companies, and that's what we're trying to do now with this new scenario around the service company. And based on this, we should have very soon a new product available, like next week, or maybe 2 weeks. I'm looking at the team right now. And so this is this Rockeo universe. And finally, we provide services such as lectures for higher education, training for people who want to use the simulation environment we have created, and custom games. We can discuss the way to create custom games.
So if you are universities or school and you would like to put in place serious game, simulation, and so on, for your students, just come to the Cam2Cam booth. We are here together to explain you how we are working. Mm-hmm. And if you are a company and you would like to put a custom scenario or thing like that, and you would like to use that for your customers, just come to Cam2Cam booth, or you can go to play.aroolla.com and you can directly try the solo game for the Rosteria scenario.
Yes. On this website, you can try the game for the coffee company, where you can have all the scenarios in the individual training game. So thank you very much. If you have questions, we are available to answer right now. So we'd be glad to take your questions now. Yes?
Oh, there is a mic.
Thank you very much. This was very interesting. We are currently working on an onboarding process for different modules because we work in a multi-company mode. We are a very small company, but we are working with external partners. From which size on, user-wise, would you recommend to go on this issue with serious games, knowing that the groups of new people, of new internal users, are not larger than 4 or 5 persons at a time? Thank you.
I would say the answer would be perhaps linked to a question, in fact. How much costs the onboarding process? If each month you have 10 people in boarding because there is lots of new partners each month and so on, the onboarding costs a lot. So it's the question is how much cost I can spare with that. So honestly, I cannot tell you that the group of customers we can help. Based on play.aroolla.com, you can already use the scenario we have created. But if you want a custom scenario, for sure it is work because we have to discuss together and so on. But with the great team we have, now we are constructing a new way to construct new scenario quite easily. So it's become more and more easy to create that. But for sure there is a cost in terms of understanding the need, creating the custom scenario, and then deploy it. But we can discuss that together if you come to the booth. Other questions? I know there is university here, so
we'll see you at talk.
Yeah, just come.
You cannot escape.
Yeah. Other questions? It was so clear. No more questions.
No questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And have a nice day. And don't forget, come to the Cam2Cam booth if you want to understand our services and more about Aroolla.
And if you want to know how the simulator works from a technical point of view, these guys are giving a talk at 5 p.m. at the foyer 500. 4:30. Sorry, I would have missed it. You know. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
4:30.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.